I smoke?
May you smoke? What is that supposed to be? Homage to a lady? It'll never make me forgive you, Mr. Dodd, for what you've said and done.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I want information. What about Frank? What made him go to pieces?
The responsibility became too much for him.
But in the beginning, why the lying? Why the cunning?
He hates himself. Consequently, he'll do or say anything to be liked by others. People like Frank ought to have 2 votes. Then they could mark their ballot Democrat and Republican. That way, everybody would love them.
Was he always like that?
No. No, he drank a little. Wasn't too dependable. But that was only a pathetic hint of frailty in a wonderful, glowing man. That appeals to a lot of us. It did to me. I was so young. His weaknesses, they seemed touching and sweet. They made me love him more. And then one day, he was walking with our son. He let go of his hand. There was traffic, looked the other way. The boy was killed. I know it must sound ludicrous to anyone who hasn't actually lived through it, but it got to the point that he wouldn't even pick out a coat or suit by himself.
I don't know where to begin to apologize, Mrs. Elgin.
You can begin by not calling me Mrs. Elgin.
And you never left him?
Twice left, twice returned. He's a helpless child. Anyone taking a cab to New York?
But if he's as helpless as you say...
Oh, he's not helpless now. He has you, Mr. Dodd.
He has to be watched and handled. You're the only one that can do that. I didn't know it before now.
Well, then maybe you've learned something.
The man needs you. He has to be watched.
You take on the job with waving banners and 10 hours later hand it back. You're telling me he has to be watched? He has to be nursed and guarded and coddled, but not by me. I'm going back to New York to the peace and comfort of a quiet room. For the first time in years, I won't have to wonder where he is.
George,
he'll be in the strong, sober hands of Bernie Dodd.
George.
Can you stand him up on his feet again? Because that's where all my prayers have gone. To see that one holy hour when he can stand alone again.
Listen.
And I might forgive even you, Mr. Dodd, if you can keep him up long enough for me to get out from under. All I want is my own name and a modest job to buy sugar for my coffee.
Will you
can't believe that, can you? You can't believe that a woman is crazy out of her mind to live alone in one room by herself.
Listen to me, listen to me.
Why are you holding me? I said you're holding me. How could you be so angry at someone you didn't even know?
Maybe I really wasn't. Maybe I screamed at you to keep myself at an angry distance.
No one has looked at me as a woman for years and years.
And I never knew there was such a woman. Loyal, steadfast. And when I found her, now I need your answer. Do you think Frank can make it?
I don't know. But I do know that if he doesn't go through with this show, he'll never work again.
I'm sure of that.
You'll be taking a big chance.
They're the only ones worth taking. But I can't unless you stay. Will you?
Yes. You kissed me. Don't let it give you any ideas, Mr. Dodd.
No, Mrs. Elgin.